Alrighty, guys, we are up, we are live, and as always, we say hi, stream.
Stream.
Hi, stream.
I'm gonna keep an eye on Discord because it did not introduce our speed date one yesterday. That was weird. I had to do it. I had to go in and actually copy the link.
I saw it twice, so maybe it did. Maybe
It popped up like a few minutes after you
Weird.
posted it, I think. So I think it was just being slow on the uptake.
Weird. All right,
I can relate to that.
tell me about it. All right, let me text Viking moderator to check our mics and everything. Okie doke. Alrighty, guys. Well, welcome. Very excited. I know that we were missing a couple people this evening. Unfortunately, their characters got pulled away to magical necessities we will get into next game. But yeah, for anyone who is hanging out with us, watching us, this is a short arc that I am calling Down the Road. It is not at all inspired by a very specific, serving cunt magical woman played by Catherine Hahn. What do you know? No. What we are doing is we're playing first and foremost a game called Wicked Packs. This is by a small indie company called the Polyhedral Knights. It's a great system. They have many great systems. I'm a little biased. I do happen to know the creator and the owner, and I've ran this game for many, many years at conventions. But it is a urban fantasy with mages, very police, military coded. I lovingly call it Law and Order SVU, but with magic. So it is one of my favorites. What that means is that everybody with me tonight, all of these lovely characters that we're about to get to know, are magic in some way, shape, or form. Some of them came across their magic by different ways. Some of them were born with it. All that fun stuff that we'll get into. The other thing that's really important is that everyone here has a reason to need a little bit of magical universe help. For many, many years, there have been rumors of the Witch's Road, a dark, tumultuous, but powerful road that appears only to those who need it and that offers up what that person needs most if they get to the end. It is said that only groups of 5 or 6, a true coven, can go down the road at a time. Some attempt by their own choice. They try and pull up the portal, pull up the doorway. Sometimes the road picks you, and you don't really have much of a choice in it, because if the road picks you, you gotta go until you finish. So many different variants of what created the road. Some people say that it was a spell gone wrong. Some people say that someone created it and now it has a mind of its own. Some people say that the lore is that Death herself made the road in honor of her lover who passed and whose soul was bound away and could never be with her. Who knows? Maybe we'll find out the truth on our path down the Witch's Road. See how many times I can say that. That being said, I, your lovely force of nature, am going to stop talking for a few minutes. And what we're going to do first, guys, if you don't mind, is just name your character's name, and if you want to give a little blurb about them, and then I will pick on who gets to do their introduction first. But just so that our lovely stream knows who's talking, and for the recording, who everybody is, name, character, blurb about character. Ta-da.
One, two, three. Oh, okay. I guess I'll go. Hi, I'm Thomas, or Dorkside on the internets. He, him. I am playing Colt Hayes, also he, him. A himbo muscle mage, as I have described him. A demon blood grunt mage.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Josh. He, him. I am playing Reginald Sprector, uh, a scribe who is very much obsessed with magic and what he can do with it.
Love that.
I'm 30 Bird, or Joe. I'm playing Erethan Moonveil. Basically, if The Witcher wound up in a goth dark metal band in the 80s, That would be him. He is a angel-born angel hunter who made some bad choices. Needs to find the road to fix them.
Haven't we all?
I'm Charmed. I'm going to be playing Slate, a half-blood shadow mage who's running away from her past and is worried it's catching up to her.
All right. Well, guys, we're going to dive in together. As a little bit of a disclaimer, we are missing 2 characters this evening. One due to injury and the other due to life circumstances. They should be joining us. I believe that Parker's character may be kind of flitting in and out. I have, again, plans for that if that's the case. But we'll get into that next game. Tonight, I am going to, as I've already told my lovely players, just offer you a pilot episode, an introduction, a setting of our setting. And I'm sorry, I totally skipped over. Hi, Internet. I am Emma, she, they. I am the force of nature this evening, the GM, whichever one you prefer. I like being called a force of nature. It makes me feel powerful and happy. And I'm going to be running the show. But really, they're running the show. I'm just herding the chaos. So, would anyone like to volunteer to go first? It's okay if not. I will happily pick on someone if need be.
Go ahead, Josh. You know you want to.
Perfect.
All
So,
right.
Josh,
Works for
give
me.
me some insight into Reginald. Tell me what a day might look like for him. Set some backstory for us if you'd like, and hopefully show us a little bit about maybe why he needs the road in the first place.
Okay. So I've done some brainstorming about it. I didn't get the time to write it down, so we're going to do our best here.
Mm-hmm.
So we zoom in on a mansion somewhere on the East Coast. It's a very large, empty, well, a very large building that seems to be devoid of life. And we go in and see a very, very brightly lit room. Looks like a very large study with books and notes and just everything kind of a disorganized chaos everywhere. And the room appears to be empty. And then moments later, a crack in reality appears and it forms an arch. And moments later, this hole in reality shifts, and you see a man stepping through into this office. He's in his appears to be in his mid 30s, early 40s. Um, he's currently wounded. He's like bleeding from his torso and kind of walking with a limp. Um, and as he walks into the room, to the untrained eye, it would seem as if the room gets darker and colder. But someone with the ability to read an aura would know that it is due to his magic. This is the soul of a man who has done terrible things. Many times. He walks in kind of with a limp. He's got a staff or like a walking stick that he's using to like support himself as he walks in. Um, on the end of this walking stick is a unicorn horn. Um, as he walks through this doorway, a body bag floats in behind him and then like rests on the floor of the room. And then to no one in particular, he says, "Why do they always feel the need to fight back? It just makes it harder on me, which makes it harder on them." And then he walks off screen to you hear a door close, As then you hear the sounds of some sort of various spells being cast. And then a few minutes later, he walks back into the office. His wounds appear to be healed. His limp is gone. He appears to be invigorated. And he like looks at the body bag on the floor, realizing that it's still there, and calls out for someone, and a clay golem walks into the room, grabs the body bag, and wanders, and then meanders out. And as he says this, and as this happens, he turns to it, take care of the other one too. And then he sits down at a desk and starts frantically writing something down. And then after a bit, he goes to a bookshelf and grabs a book, and then sits down and reads it. And then another book, and another book, and another book. And hours pass, days pass, weeks, months pass. He does not leave this room. He does not eat. He does not sleep. He does not drink. He seems very single-minded and focused on whatever it is that he is currently doing, with the occasional mad ramblings breaking up his study and research.
Okay. And Josh, let me think. That was great, just for the record.
Thank you.
This single-mindedness that we are kind of getting an insight into, we're getting this little bit of window to. Would you say that this is normal for Reginald? Like, this would be a pretty normal thing for him, or is this single-mindedness different than before?
It is a little bit more focused. He always has always, for his unnaturally long life, been very dedicated on researching magic and various things about it. But whatever it is that he's currently trying to figure out, there is a fervor to his search. This specific matter is more important than anything else he could possibly be doing, and everything else takes a sideline to it. So while he has employed this single-mindedness before, this is a step up from that.
I see. Well, and I'll also, more as an out-of-game question so that I can word this properly. Is Reginald looking to access the road that we spoke of specifically?
Well, it's a long tangent of things.
Mm-hmm.
There's a specific problem he's wanting to fix.
Mm-hmm.
And over the course of these months passing, he does make the connections and is looking specifically into the road, how to access it, what it requires, what it can do, and all of that.
Perfect. That's all I needed. So I'm going to say, as this time goes on, sometimes he feels like he gets closer, sometimes he feels like he gets further away. Like you said, days turn into weeks, weeks turn into a couple of months. This goes on for quite a while. And it's just at the point where Reginald is, for all of his tenaciousness, almost ready to give up. Thinks maybe that this was the wrong wild goose to chase. This was the wrong path to go down. Unfortunately, once more, he can just chalk it up to the list of things that he hoped and didn't come from. And it's as he sort of closes that last book and he leans back and he allows himself for just a moment to rest. He allows that respite. He closes his eyes, that he feels a shift in the room. And this is his domain. He is safe here. He is protected here. So when there are changes in this place, he immediately feels it. And when Reginald opens his eyes, across the room, there is a door, similar to when he himself pulled open reality, similar to many doors that he's seen in the past, but also somehow so different. The door is framed in old-fashioned mortared stones, very medieval feeling. There's actual pieces of moss clinging to certain areas of it. The door itself is dark, stained wood, almost black. And as I assume he gets up to sort of inspect it a little bit, it's shined and polished so heavily that he can actually see his reflection. He sees the tired eyes. He sees the clothes that were once kind of impeccable and now are askew, out of place, even given his best magical maintenance. There's no doorknob, and so he sort of walks around it a couple of times. And it's only after the 7th turn across that he comes back and a doorknob appears.
Well, this isn't what I expected, but this can only mean one thing. He's going to grab his walking stick and reach for the door handle.
Okay. And in the moment that you make that choice and Reginald goes to grab the handle, he's suddenly in a new place. A place that we will get to in just a few minutes. Okay. I'm going to pick Dorkseed, your turn. Tell me what's going on in a day in the life of, was it Colt or Colton? I'm sorry.
Colt.
Thank you.
So we cut away from our previous scene, and much like the previous scene, we begin with a crack, but not with a crack in reality, but the crack of someone hitting a speed bag as we materialize in the garage slash gym of Colt Hayes in his home. He is back home in Hayesville, Kentucky, the town that his family has lived in and owned the majority of for as long as he can remember, as long as his family can remember. And he is just pummeling away at this speed bag in his gym. And on the TV in the corner, we see like ESPN style, like sports news, and across the little ticker at the bottom, it says 1 year since MMA superstar Colt Hayes left the limelight. And there's video footage of him 1 year ago in this fight. And he's got the upper hand. He's about to knock this guy out. And we see his eyes just roll back in his head, and he falls flat on the mat on the floor of the ring and begins to convulse violently. And what the people who are present and the people who are watching this footage now don't realize is that this is the moment that his sister died 1 year ago. And he felt that entirely in his entire body. So that moment when he collapsed is when his sister died. And he sees the image on the screen and like gives the speed bag one last punch, and we see kind of a glow of like runes around his knuckles, and the speed bag goes flying off of the like hook that it's on and crashes into the wall behind it, and he just lets out like a heavy grunt sigh and walks over and to where he's got like towels and stuff, like begins to wipe the sweat off of his face. And Colt is a 33-year-old. He's kind of tan. He's got those kind of questionable tattoos that you would get when you're young, like the tribal band tattoos and like that kind of stuff, like all up and down his arms. He's wearing a black tank top, and he's got like a medium length undercut that he's got, and he's got the top pulled back in like a tight ponytail, and a beard that is normally well kept, but is probably has needed a trim for like 6 months to a year, and he walks over and he just begins to towel himself off, and he looks at the picture of his sister that he's got in the little, like, I don't want to call it a vanity mirror, but basically a vanity mirror, and where he's got like all the stuff where he would clean up after a training session, and we pan away from the picture of his sister, and we see next to like the picture of his sister is just a stack of books. A stack of books of like the history of witchcraft, and like probably books that don't actually mean anything for like real witchcraft and whatnot, but just like all manner of like books, like, and he like feigns interest in picking one up and like thumbs through it a little bit and then closes the book and throws it back on the stack. And he goes and he takes a seat on his motorcycle and throws his helmet on and revs the engine up and takes off down the like driveway that leads up to his house and off into like the back roads of the Kentucky wilderness.
And as Colt is driving, and probably I'm going to take a leap here and say doing this to hope and clear his head, because the punching didn't help, the thinking didn't help, the reading didn't help. So maybe the riding recklessly will help. Who knows? Something's got to stick eventually. What's maybe going through Colt's mind? Tell us a little bit more about, we saw, what happened the night that his sister died, but what has led him to this moment? What has happened since then?
So the crux of the whole situation is the deal that his family has made, which is why they've been so successful, why they have owned this entire town in Kentucky for as long as they have, is that they made a deal with the devil, as one does. And part of that deal is the oldest of the next generation of Hayes, is the family witch, so to speak, and is able to use the magic in order to better themselves and do good, but is also like an instrument for the devil that they made this deal with. And so when his sister died, his sister being exactly 18 seconds older than he is, they were twins. When his sister died, that pact was forced upon him. So he's thinking about the moment that he actually met, like in that like fugue state when his sister passed. He was actually meeting with the demon in himself, like being informed of this at the exact same moment. So we kind of like fade into his mind, and we see a figure that's like draped in raven's feathers and piercing yellow eyes, and not much else. Like you can tell that they're black feathers of some kind, most likely raven feathers, and these just piercing yellow eyes. And we kind of witnessed that moment where the torches pass, so to speak. And then we kind of fade back into the present, where Colt is like driving entirely too fast with a motorcycle that's not built for dirt roads, down this dirt road, like just barreling down. Like at the very least, it's a straight road. It's not very curved, but he is not he is driving very recklessly.
Yeah, gotta chase away those intrusive thoughts somehow, right?
You can't catch me, intrusive thoughts.
What does taking on that mantle mean to Colt? Because I know we talked about it obviously in session 0, but for anyone who might be listening, or also for your cast, what does that mean to him? What does that put on his shoulders?
I don't think he's really figured that out yet. He like he never anticipated having to like deal with this. Like this was his sister's whole deal. His sister like studied the magic, like practiced it before her 18th birthday when she took on the mantle. Like she was the chosen one. Like she was gonna do all this stuff, and Colt was free to live his life. And I think he's very conflicted about the situation at hand, because on one hand, like he's he's upset that his sister is dead, obviously, but he's also upset because like his entire life is ruined. He 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 he's not going to be able to follow his dreams anymore. He's not free to do whatever. He's shackled by this burden that wasn't supposed to be his. And so, for unselfish reasons and also selfish reasons, he thinks about how much easier it would be if his sister was still alive. Like he wants her back for himself and his family, but he also wants her back because like this isn't my job. I wasn't even supposed to be here today.
And as that thought sort of crosses Colt's mind, he, sort of revs the engine a little bit harder, because I'm sure in that thought there's some guilt, because as much as we would love to think that the first thought for him would be, I miss my sister, I want her back, I'm sure we both know that the real thought there was, this would be so much easier if she were here and I didn't have to deal with this. And so he sort of hits the gas a little harder. He goes to, spin the wheels out a little. But as you hit that speed, a bird goes flying across the path and scares the crap out of Colt. wasn't thinking that was going to happen, especially as fast as he was going. Does what you should never do, especially on a back muddy road, and like hits the brake a little too hard. The back wheel goes skidding out, and you sort of manage to keep the control, but you definitely spin out, burn out. You've got a couple more bruises and scrapes than you might have had before. And as the motorcycle skids across this perfect sort of patch of mud, you actually go tumbling into this small man-made lake that's in the backwoods near your estate. You know this area. It's your house, your home, the place you grew up. You may not have been here for many years prior to this whole thing, but you know these lands. And it should only be a foot or two deep. Again, man-made. It's just sort of like a glorified koi pond for your family. But as Colt kind of skids off the bike and again through the mud into the water, he keeps going. And he falls. And then he falls through. And he catches his breath. And when he lifts his head, he's in a much different place. Which once again, we will come back to. So, Charmed, why don't you tell me a little bit about Slate and her journey and her life and anything you want to share with me?
Okay. So it works that Colt fell into a pond, and you see, like, as we shift scenes, as the water keeps going down, it's nighttime and raining in unnamed metropolitan city. uh, as you see another motorcycle driving through the rain, kind of weaving in and out of the traffic late at night, uh, trying to get out of the rain and get back to one of her safe houses. And it doesn't look like anything's chasing her, but you can tell just the tenseness as she's weaving. She's trying to get into a safe spot quickly. You can't see really anything kind of chasing her. And then you see she finally pulls into like a side alleyway. And you see as she like puts the kickstand, turns off the motorcycle. She's got like knee-high combat boots, full black ensemble, got a half cloak with a hood on top, and kind of a strange bulge underneath the cloak that we don't fully see just yet. And as she gets off the motorcycle, it kind of sort of starts to mold and melt and merge into the shadow of the alleyway until you can't really see it anymore. And if you didn't know it was there, you wouldn't be able to find it. And as she gets inside, she goes up 2 flights to her apartment in this area of the city, her safe house for this place, and quickly unlocks the 3 locks on the door, gets inside, quickly closes it, and relatches all of them. And when the last one latches, there's a small spark of magic to keep it arcanely locked as well.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of see she's tense. She's kind of pacing, trying and like slightly muttering to herself, "Wasn't there this time. Need a new location. Need to find this place." And she's just kind of pacing back and forth, just anxiously trying to calm herself down because her night and the past week or so didn't go the way she wanted. She didn't find what she was looking for. And as she's doing this, a piece of paper catches her eye on her countertop. And she recognizes it because she left it there a week or so ago, and it just says, "They're coming, find the road." And it looks like this sheet of paper it's old. It's been a couple of months, close to like 7 or so months since she received this warning. And all of her leads have ended up dead ends. And she feels like she's running out of time. This last one was like the most credible lead she had found, and it still ended up as a dead end. So she's starting to get a little antsy and starting to fully pull away and ignoring the life that she had created. And is just throwing herself to try and find this so she can get what she needs to fully disappear.
Yeah. And for Slate, we don't have to obviously ruin everything, but she knows specifically what this warning means. What it means to her.
Yeah. She like as soon as she had found the slip, the note that she was given, It was on a pure white little cardstock, kind of, what's the word? Business card-esque size, pure white piece of paper. It's not pure white anymore because she's thumbed it, crumpled it,
Mm-hmm.
past 7 months in just worry, but she knew.
Mm-hmm. And for Slate, what would be, I'm trying to think how to word it. For her, you said that she had built a life for herself. She had maybe had a taste of that freedom and maybe what she would do to get it for good.
Yeah. I mean, for Slate's last, she had thought she was safe for a while. She had spent a lot of time building her new identity and multiple fake identities to throw off the trails, rubbing elbows with a lot of kind of gangs and mobs of the mundane world to fully separate, hoping that would throw them off even more. So, again, when she saw this, it fully spooked and is willing and has done a lot in this past 7 months to try and get the power she needs to stop running.
And as that thought sort of crosses her mind, and I take a little liberty, but I imagine she sort of like leans herself over the counter, head kind of in hands, like this sort of like desperate moment. And she's sort of again like head in hands, leaned over, probably looking directly at this paper that is almost mocking her at this point. And sort of a breeze kicks up and moves the paper, and it floats and lands in the center of what would be the living area of this safe house. And then it begins to shred itself. And instead of shredding into pieces, it shreds into something that Slate's very aware of, which are shadows. And those shadows expand into what you would think is a portal right there on the ground in front of you.
I think when it would first start, you'd see her kind of jerk to reach under her half cloak and stop as she kind of notices the shadows appearing. And she's kind of staring at it, trying to like decipher it. And she's just staring at it and is like, fuck it, and jumps in.
I love it. All right. And that brings us over to 30. So we just ended on a shadow, and now we open on however you want to take the wheel.
The shadows draw along. The camera shifts. It is still night. A small cottage in the woods is visible from a distance. The moon is a light. It's not full, but it is casting enough light to be seen. The camera slowly starts panning in towards the cottage. And from behind the camera, you hear a cracking and a fizzing sound. And as the camera is panning in where no one was there before, two combat boots, 6-inch big platforms with lots of buckles, step into view as a cape slowly swishes in behind them. The camera stops as the figure starts walking forward, only seen from behind. A large black cloak, a large figure, very broad, very tall, over 6 feet tall, walks forward towards this cottage, slowly but with purpose. As they arrive to the front door of the cottage, they find it's open, slightly ajar. They push it open. The room is lit within, very dimly, and they step in, framed in the doorway. From there, the camera focuses on a couch, a woman on a couch, wearing nice business clothing, a red blouse, gray skirt. She sits there. She has a glass of wine in her hand. She looks up and says, I've been waiting for you. I knew you would be coming. We hear the tall figure speak for the first time. So then you knew that coming here would not save you from we. Oh, yeah, no, I knew. So you are ready for this then? Well, I won't go without a fight. But surely maybe we could work something out, she says to him. You think you can make a deal with me? Surely you have nothing that I desire. Money means nothing to me. Your power, your status, your wealth means nothing. She gets a smile on her face, a smirk. Oh, but I have something that you don't have. I have information. I have information too. What is it you possibly could know that I do not? I know that you've been lied to for all these years. You you were told you were one thing, but you really are not. The figure in the doorway stops for a second, pauses. You have my attention. She smiles even more broadly. Well, perhaps we should parley then. Do not dawdle. I will end this quickly. Well, how about I give you one word? Malcorax. The figure in the doorway looks perplexed. Latin? What is this that you speak of? You may know him by some other name, but the demon you made a deal with is actually named Malcorax, and they've been lying to you since you made that deal with them. Speak, woman, what else do you know? Well, aren't you getting a little testy? At this, the smell of brimstone fills the air, and this long sword appears in his hands, double-bladed, split down the middle. You try my patience. Speak true. Well, I've told you what I know. Perhaps trusting demons is not the smartest choice. Well then, perhaps not. But I know you have also done your deal as well. Oh yes, but it is my lot in life. It is the way it is.
Hey, 30,
You
I am
give
going
me
to
nothing.
pause you for just a quick second. My dog is absolutely losing his shit at the door on the other end. So if we could just pause real quick so I could go yell at him.
Freeze frame.
Yep, freeze frame. I'll be right back, guys. Please talk amongst yourselves really quickly. Stream, pause. I'll be right back. Sorry.
Charmed, when did we agree on a costume?
What do you mean?
You described your character and it was all in black with the combat boots. I'm like, is she describing me?
Oh. Hey,
Uh,
I'm the shadow mage. I gotta blend into the shadows.
Shadow was one of the ones I was looking at as well.
you know, as soon as Thomas described someone with like raven feathers, I was like, is this Joe's intro? Like, are we?
Yeah,
Is this like a cut to like? But no.
apparently not. It's just one of those, another one of those coincidences.
Yeah, just a
Yeah,
coincidence.
Yeah, totally.
definitely.
Wink, wink.
100%. Yes. I do like that all of our doors are different. Like all of our ways to the road. Because I guess mine's the only one that's been an actual door so far.
Yeah, I didn't even get a door. I fell in a puddle.
Yeah,
That's
that's true.
I mean, a giant hole to possibly an abyss opened
Mm-hmm.
as shadows.
Which, I mean, falling in a puddle is appropriate for my bumbling idiot. So, I mean,
Yes. They're very thematic for sure.
with my intelligence of 1.
Oof.
Oh, wow.
I'd look to see what my character sheet says, but I can't read it from here. I really do need the glasses.
Oh no.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
intelligence
Dog
1
is
will
feuding with a rooster.
intelligence 1 willpower 2.
Ah. I am one of the least charismatic humans or people. I have a charisma of 1, strength of 2, reflexes of 2, health of 2, willpower and intelligence of 5. We're min-maxed over here.
Nice.
I have a health of 7.
You have a plan until you get a sword to the chest.
Health of 7, strength of 5.
Nice.
Yeah,
I have charisma and reflex of 5.
Now I have to look. I've got a 5, a 4, and then 2 4s, and then a couple 3s and a 2.
What's your 5?
Strength.
Makes sense. But yeah, no, thankfully the scribe has a talent where it's just like, hey, unless you do something really scary with magic, enemies just leave you alone in a fight. Like, they go after everyone else first.
Yeah,
Unless you do something real scary.
Why do we gotta pick on the nerd?
Uh-huh, exactly. Which allows me to have low strength and low health. And then if
Everyone
they do
should
come
fear
after
the
me, I just
nerds.
die.
Ultimate glass cannon.
Yep.
And I'm the ultimate tank with 70 hit points and damage resistance 2 for everything.
Nice.
I did see that, I think, and I was like, am I doing this wrong? Because I'm nowhere near the hit points of that, but I'm like, I think I'm okay.
That's more hit points than I have magic points, which is impressive.
Sorry about that unscheduled interruption. One of these days, my dog's gonna go through the fence at that damn rooster. It's just gonna happen. I've prepared myself.
Yeah.
To be fair, the rooster does it too. Like, I've literally stood out there with him and like heard the rooster come up to the fence, wait until my dog is there, and then start like clucking and cawing things, and they go back and forth. It would be entertaining if it wasn't such a nuisance.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it's probably entertaining from a third-person perspective.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like, I have no stake in this. That's hilarious.
Yep.
So it can be hilarious for you guys. There's that. We were just taking, a pause for dramatic effect. That's all. That was all we were doing.
Commercial break.
And we're back.
All right, 30. I would love to continue hearing about this conversation, this sort of back and forth between these two people that are now talking about someone called Malcorax.
Trying to remember where I left off now.
She had just said, you're getting feisty, and I cut you off before he said anything back.
So you are not going to go willingly. You're going to put up a fight. I love it when my victims scream. With that, she just smiles. Well, then you'll get no more information from me. I've got what I need. Just like a dog to his master. You're going to do his bidding without even wondering why. It's something I must do. He draws the sword, and he goes to attack her. There's an epic fight the person that he is attacking fights back with magic. This is not some helpless victim. This is someone who is at the same power level or slightly lower. It is a long, epic battle. He fights with the sword and spells. He uses a frighten ability to try and scare her, intimidate her. Eventually winds up getting the upper hand through the chest with the sword. He slays her. She falls to the ground. Erevan takes 2 knees, kneels next to the corpse. A feather appears out of nowhere and floats down into his hand. He takes the feather, puts it into his cloak. One more for the tally. At this rate, it may never be done. But I have questions. Questions that must be answered. We flash forward. On the bottom of the screen it says 1 year later. We see Erevan in a room actually with books instead of a sword. He's been reading, picks one up, slams it shut. Dust flies into the air. I have been lied to. I am not demon-born. I am angel-born. I have been hunting my own for years and doing the bidding of one who has lied to me. This will end. I will break this deal. I will free myself from this burden. That's kind of where we cut away.
I love that.
Or I'll turn it back to you, I should say.
As Erevan is having this moment, this realization, I'm going to say, because this is sort of confirmation of what has been hinted at to him, and now is the unfortunate truth of things. As this is sort of washing over him, the dust motes in the air, like you described, sort of are floating around. But then something floats down in front of his vision. And it's a feather, similar to what you described in that first vision. But it's not a dark, inky feather. It doesn't match the cloak. It doesn't match what he's seen before. This one is white, smooth, cream at the edges, different. And it sort of floats and hovers right in that perfect little windswept of the book that Erevan just closed and is right before him.
He'll catch it and bring it down. What is this? He looks around.
And he'll
Grabs
notice that there's a
and examines
couple
it.
others in the air as you sort of go to look around. There's not an exorbitant amount. It's sort of almost like a trail. Like you see there's like 10 feet away, there's another feather. A couple more feet from there, it seems like there's another one.
He will get up. He will follow this trail of feathers. See where it leads.
And as he follows these feathers, it ends down back corner of this, I'm going to assume library that he's in, if I may. And it ends at a window in the corner. A large window. It doesn't have stained glass, but it has that sort of like adjacent, like frosted glass that you can't quite see out. And it still has that like artistic, someone did this for a reason in the window. And sitting on the sill of the window is a dove that matches the feathers that you've been following.
Little one, you must be a sign of something to come.
And the dove is going to reach down to where its claws are on the sill, and it's going to bring up a key. It looks almost like a diary key, like very small and silver. And it matches the window lock. It's a very small thing.
I feel like this is a message. I will take you at your word. He'll grab the key, insert it into the lock, and twist it.
The window pushes open, and a cold, heavy breeze comes in, ruffles the feathers on your cloak, brushes your hair back. And as you sort of look down to where the dove was, the dove is gone, the window is gone, and you are somewhere new. As everyone comes to from their different openings, portals, the things that have brought you to this place, your vision sort of blurs for just the briefest of seconds, or your head sort of has that vertigo movement, or your body feels like cold water has been rushed over it. Whatever sort of feeling you generally feel when magic washes over you. But as you guys all focus back, you realize you're in a waiting room. It's a very nice waiting room. Plush, red carpet, some oriental rugs, some very ornate, possibly antique couches and chairs. There's a full oak coffee table that's got a span of like Vogue, People, Magic Monthly, all kinds of things across it. And at the very end of the room, there is one of those full sort of frosted glass pulls like you would see almost in a doctor's office where they can kind of pull it closed and you can't see them. So that is what everyone enters into, this opulent waiting room.
Do we all just like appear in the middle of the room?
It happens in different ways. You know, Reginald, you come through the door. You opened the door. You came in. Poor Colt, you sort of like fall from the ceiling onto one of the couches and like plop. Slate, I'm gonna say you sort of like superhero pose in. Like you kind of jumped in the portal and sort of like land superhero pose. And Erevan, you sort of rush through one of the big windows with that cold breeze that brought you here, that just whips its way around the room and gives one last sort of really epic ruffle to all those feathers.
The second that Colt hits the couch, he like kips up. He's like in a fighting stance, looking around. Who the fuck are y'all?
Ervan summons his sword.
Reginald just is like holding his walking stick out, like with like an incantation on the lips, but hasn't said anything yet.
Blade's reaching up under her half cloak, still kind of like waiting to see what everyone else does and slowly backing towards like a wall.
Does it matter who we are if we do not know where we are?
Do none of us know where we are? Or do we all think we know where we are? Because I have an idea of where I am, but I'm not sure.
It better be where I think this is.
Well, somebody start talking, because I don't know where the fuck I am, and if I don't know where the fuck I am, I'm liable to start punching.
Have you heard of something? This isn't what I expected it to look like, but generally they aren't. Have you heard of something called the Road?
Who hasn't heard of the road?
The Witch's Road.
Colt like relaxes his fighting stance a little bit and like has this like look of preponderance on his face as he looks up as if trying to remember something he should know, then looks down as if he's trying to think up a lie and he can't think up a lie. And so he he looks up and says, I got no fucking idea what the Witch's Road is, but it sounds like a load of bullshit.
Then,
Enlighten us, little man. Tell us more.
well, according to legend and story, the Witch's Road is a journey or trial that those who have need of it can undertake in order to fulfill that need.
Look, man, I don't know what you're talking about a trial. I already went to trial and they found me not guilty.
Charmed,
That was
you
supposed
said
to be
Slate was backing up against the wall, right?
Mm-hmm.
As the guy,
She's just kind of watching this, doing what she does best is blending into the shadows to not draw attention to herself.
perfect. As these three are kind of more like aggressively kind of having this interaction, I'm going to call for our very first roll. So,
Oh dear.
I would love if Slate could give me an observation. And you're going to add, you can add as a shadow mage, you can do either reflexes or intelligence, whichever one you want.
Reflexes. Okay. You're gonna have to walk me through how to do this.
Absolutely. So for anyone who has never played Wicked Pax before, this is a roll skill add attribute system. What that means is that each of those skills that you guys set up during character creation has a certain number and die type. It can be anything from 1d4 all the way up to 3d10, depending on how well you are at that skill. In this case, we are going to be looking at observation, which I can only assume that Slate has.
Yes, I do have.
What is her number and die type for that?
It's a 3d6.
Perfect. So what's going to happen here is you're going to roll 3d6. You're going to pick the
Okay.
highest, and then you're going to add the attribute that you picked, which in this case was reflexes.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Now, I do exploding dice style, so if you hit a 6, roll it and add to it.
Interesting. Okay, one of those was cocked. Hang on. Sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, shit. I rerolled into a 6.
A perfect example for
So I
teaching.
roll in.
Yep.
So I
Yep,
roll
roll it
another
again.
d6?
Mhm.
Okay. That was a 2.
Perfect.
Okay.
So that'd be 8, and then add your reflexes.
13.
Perfect. So for everyone and for anyone listening who wants to learn, that's how all of our rolls are going to go. The only time that it's going to be a little bit different is when casting spells, depending on the situation. Sometimes you will roll a magic lore and then add whatever the attribute for your magic is. Each of the different mages has a attribute that is associated to their magic. Sometimes spells have a specific set of events that they need. There are spells that say instead of rolling your magic lore to incite it, you have to roll something else. But most of the time, you roll your magic lore, add to it, and that tells you if the spell takes or not. And then in some cases, how well the spell takes. We're not dealing with magic quite yet. We're dealing with observation. And Slate, as you're watching these three guys kind of go at it, you know, two a little bit more aggressive than the other. One has said the thing that you were hoping, which is about the road. You sort of out of habit scan across the room. There's almost never a time that Slate's not like taking stock of her area, trying to kind of like keep an eye on things, very like military-esque almost, because she's had to. And as you sort of scan across the room, up towards what would normally be the reception desk, which has that like pulled frosted glass doors, you see that there are 6 light bulbs on the desk. And right now, 4 of those bulbs are lit up green, and 2 of them are red.
Okay. I think seeing that, and Slade is relatively intelligent, can kind of figure out there's 4 people in here, and it looks to be like they're waiting for 2. But she's still gonna go over to them and just try and see if there's like some kind of like timer or something to see like, because we all kind of appeared like one after the other, so she's still also waiting to see like where 2 more people are gonna pop out from.
So as
And
you,
just letting them have their argument
Yeah.
as she observes.
absolutely. So as you kind of come up to the desk, these bulbs. So you've got the 2 doors that sort of pull and they meet in the middle. There you see the seam that someone from the other side would be able to pull it open, and there would be like a reception desk behind it. Think very doctor's office where they have like the separation between patient and like bringing you back
Oh,
to
the little
the,
window thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
the difference here is that these, instead of being like plexiglass, these are like frosted. Like you can't really see the other side. It's just sort of like blurred gray. The light bulbs themselves are just to the left of where that window would open. So it's not like directly in front of the window, it's to the left of it. And if you actually look at the window where the seam is, there's actually a little like plastic sign similar to like what would have hours at a business. And this one just sort of says out to lunch with a little like smiley face next to it.
And there aren't anything about the light. They're just light bulbs. There's no
They're
like
just lights.
plaques or anything.
Nope,
Okay.
they're just lights. You do see that the very last one, it's a very minute thing. I'm going to say, because you've kind of like walked right up to it, you notice the 4 that are green are bright green. You associate this sort of like with an on off, like green is on, red is off. They're very bright colors. That 6th one, it's sort of like a dimmer. You would almost associate this with like if you were playing a game, or if you had like something that needed to light up, that one might be optional.
Okay. Seeing all that, she's gonna turn back to the others and see if they're still arguing or not.
Probably.
And if she can get a word in, she'll say something, but she's waiting to see what they're all doing still.
Do you know what magic is?
I will run you through right now. What do you think I am?
The other guy, clearly the person with the sword that came out of nowhere, knows what magic is. I'm talking to the guy who looks like a boxer.
Yeah, I know what magic is.
Then how the hell do you not know of the Witch's Road?
Look, magic wasn't really my thing, it was my sister's thing. It just kind of fell in my lap. So, if we could get around the whole, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Lecture. I don't need a lecture. Give me the Cliff's Notes.
I think I already did. If you need it, sometimes it shows up. So if you're here, you obviously need it. So what do you need?
Aravan will
Need
turn
my
to the big
sister
dude.
back.
He's kind of bossy for a little man.
Charmed, I'm going to say at this point, as they kind of talk over each other one more time, you finally find that sort of lull and the room goes just a little bit quiet.
Yeah, well, it looks like we can all get at least a little comfortable for a while. Looks like we're still waiting on one. And she'll kind of step to the side and point to the light bulbs. Possibly 2.
In my research, Emma, was I able to figure out anything involving needing a coven of 5 or 6?
So everything that you found about the road in your research stated that it required either 5 or 6 willing parties or parties chosen by the road. It's a little muddy. Some say that a true coven has to have 5 because you have to have a coven leader and 1 for each element. Some say it's actually you need 6 because every leader must have a second. So it sort of like delves down into like magical semantics. But 5 and 6 both came up.
So having the light bulbs pointed out.
Mhm.
Good observation. That does match with some of the research that I found. Apparently the road will choose, or a group of people will choose the road, and it's always either 5 or 6. From the literature that I was able to procure. So apparently we have more coming, as you said. Or hopefully.
I would hope so. But at least it's not that bad of a place to stay. And Slade's gonna kind of now go to like one of like the long couches and like jump over one of the arms and just kind of like lay across it, like getting a little relaxed. Just still keen to like watch if they're gonna go back to fighting each other. Kind of like I need some popcorn, kind of deal.
As you sort of like mentally make that joke to yourself, on the coffee table in front of you, a box of popcorn appears.
Oh, this is very interesting. And she'll just grab it and start munching on it.
Great. So even with magic, we can't escape the DMV. We're just gonna have to wait.
Death and taxes.
Apparently.
I've been waiting for this for quite a while. I'm fine waiting a couple more minutes if it means we can walk this thing.
You actively sought this out?
Yes.
Very much so.
What about you, big man?
I don't even know what it was. So how could I have sawed it? Sawed it? How could I have sook it out
Oh dear.
if if a if a if I ain't even know what it was?
Colt, when you and your sister were younger, there was a particular movie that you guys used to watch together. Something that like you very fondly have in your memory. What was that movie?
Lilo and Stitch.
I love that. I love that so much. As you're kind of sitting here, and I can only imagine, especially given everything, unfortunately, that's happened to Colt, you're sort of very skeptical. You're having some like feelings. There's a very old school TV in the corner, and it flips on, and it's like that very like penultimate scene at the end where like Lilo and Stitch are on the surfboard and like they're going through, and it just like it flashes for a really long moment, and then it sort of grains out and turns off.
Colt, his jaw kind of like drops, and he sits down, crisscross applesauce, in front of the TV, like he would have when he was a kid, and he just sits there and is like, "Oh, Hannah means family."
Oh, yep. Family means no one gets left behind.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can actually do a Stitch impression, but I'm
That
trying
was
to do a
good.
Stitch impression as Colt.
No, that was good.
Oh, Hannah means family.
I love it.
Nice.
Just, can I have something?
Yeah.
This explains so much time in front of this stupid box. We should pick up a book sometime. And as he says that, a book actually appears in his hand.
Yeah.
In leather bound, gold letters, writing that says the visceral life of heaven and hell. Excellent taste in reading here. I suggest you read it sometime.
Books are hard. There's too many words.
Damn true.
Can you?
Yeah, I can read. It just takes me a little while to sound out the words.
Alright.
Everyone must start somewhere.
Slate.
And
The last place that you just traveled, the place that we kind of spoke about, I will jump back to you in just a second, Josh. I did hear you, I promise. The last place that she traveled, that place that she kind of felt safe, was it like a city? Was it like more out in the country? What sort of like landscape was it?
It was definitely in like a big city. I wouldn't say like not like New York City, but like another one, like just a big city in the US. And it was definitely in like a little bit of the seedier part of that city of like a normal like 5-story walk up. They're on the third floor of that as like a safe house.
Mhm.
And that was like one of those places that only a few know about.
Sort of like almost like a Chicago vibe, where like it's got like sort of those
Mm.
darker, seedier areas, but then in those same areas you have like those penthouses, those like high rises, kind of like you're talking about.
Yeah.
Love it. As you're kind of sitting there munching your popcorn, and you're still kind of like taking stock of the room and like cataloging everything, pinned on the wall next to the couch that you picked, there's a calendar, and it's got that exact skyline across it. That place that Slate felt safe, felt hope. And it's perfectly like painted on this calendar right next to you.
Yeah, this place definitely did its homework. Are there any like she's gonna kind of like turn and look at it and like specifically look like at like today's date if it's on like if it's this month she's gonna look at that date. If it's not, she's gonna flip through to find like the date.
It would be on this date. So it's the month that you guys are currently in. But you do notice that on that same month, it so happens in this month that there's a Friday the 13th, and it's circled with like 3 red circles.
She's clocking that and filing that information away.
Perfect. Josh, what were you starting
But
to
definitely say
out of character, is it pre Friday the 13th right now?
Mhm.
In world?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I would assume so, but okay. And what of you, oh armored one? Did you seek the road out? You clearly know what it is, but we're surprised that we were here intentionally.
I did not seek it out, but I do, of course, know what it is.
It's
Oh,
safe
you
to...
wish to know more? Ask your question, little man.
Yep.
Do you know why you're here? Even if you don't know how you got here.
I have my suspicions.
Okay.
Josh,
Yep.
you vividly remember a time before Reginald was a little more desperate for things, a time before he had this sort of driving force. And speaking of time, in that time, you used to have a pocket watch. A family heirloom, so to speak. Nothing magical like you're used to, but something that was sort of like passed down. When the inciting thing that happened that sort of set you on this journey, you specifically lost this watch. And you've always seen that as sort of like a sign, sort of like a, I've lost my time, I'm, on my own clock now, all of the idioms, so to speak. And as Reginald sort of like leans on his walking stick a little and like puts his hand into his pocket, you feel that watch in your pocket for the first time in many a years.
As soon as I feel it, immediate panic. I would like to cast, if I can, I would like to cast Mask Self.
Okay.
Which conceals my emission of magical energy, preventing me from being tracked by spells or ability.
Absolutely. I won't make you spend anything because we are in a downtime right now, and we're also coming up to about the end of our evening for now. But that will carry over into next time. At the beginning of next time, what I'll have you do is I'll have you roll to see how well that ignites, and we'll kind of go from there. As you all kind of have these moments happen all at once, you have the book appear that only you really know the true meaning of, the watch that you've never told anyone about, that skyline where you felt safe, that moment from a childhood that you wish you could go back to sometimes. You guys all hear a very light ding. And then someone falls out of the ceiling. It is I can't describe it any other way, a ragamuffin kid. I mean, like, worn hoodie, torn jeans, stereotypical, just like, street rat teenager kind of thing. His hair is a little bit longer than it probably should be, kind of greasy. And he just like falls on the floor. Doesn't even fall onto one of the couches or anything like Colt did. Wind gets kind of knocked out of him. And he's like, oh, shit.
Are you okay?
He's just coughing at this point. It's like truly like whole back, like hit the floor, like wind got knocked out of. He like rolls over kind of on all fours and is kind of like, yeah, I
think Slate's immediately gonna look at the light bulbs again and kind of stand up and like walk behind the couch that she's been laying on, and like quickly glance between this coughing child and the light before and see if one of them is on. If one more is on.
The fifth light has turned green.
She's mentally preparing and getting ready for whatever this thing's going to throw next, because she knows once 5 is hit, it's possible to start and something might happen.
Yeah. Because you saw it first, that fun little sign that you noticed earlier, the out to lunch sign, it's not there anymore.
Real quick, Emma.
Yep.
I would like to use my intuition ability.
Absolutely.
To ask you,
Mm-hmm.
Does the watch being in my pocket right now mean that he is here too?
So, my lovely listeners and my lovely players, normally intuition is a really fun thing in this game. It's a mechanic where you can ask the GM a question and I have to answer truthfully. It's usually yes or no questions. I unfortunately have to break that rule already, but I'm force of nature. I can do what I want. And I'm a benevolent force of nature, as we all know. So what I will say that you immediately get, this God voice in your head, this intuition in your gut, whatever you want to have it as. He is not here physically with you, but he is close.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. So there's a coughing teenager on the floor. All 5 lights are lit up. The other one has sort of dimmed down for now. Like it's still glowing like slightly red, but think of it as if someone had like rolled a dimmer down, so it's not like as important. And like I said, Charmed, the sign, the out to lunch sign, it's gone, has disappeared.
Well, looks like we have the fifth.
This little thing, even smaller than the little man.
Clearly, you missed the sign that said you must be this tall to ride this ride.
The road cares not for such things.
Yeah, the road seems to disagree. And again, she'll draw the attention to the light bulbs and show that the fifth one is up. And the sign, if anyone noticed, the sign is gone.
Boy, do you know what the Witch's Road is?
And as soon as you say that, he's just sort of managed to like push back into like, crisscross applesauce, a sort of like trying really
None of us
hard.
helps him at all or care.
No, he's just like there. But as you say, he heard it the first time and he like stiffened up, and then you said it, you directed at him, and he sort of, I've heard of the road. A woman told me once that I was born to die on the road.
Bad luck for
And
you
this-
then.
Is not your lucky day.
And as you guys all sort of react to that, next to the reception window, a spark of magic, sort of similar to what Charm described earlier on the lock, but this time it happens on the wall and it starts outlining a big rectangle and then a line up the middle. And after it finishes, there's a quick flash and there's a set of elevator doors right next to the reception desk. And there's a button right next to it. It's all lit up for you guys.
I think Slate was already like heading that direction to see if there was like, like a little service bell.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, and seeing that it turned into the door, she'll hover her hand over it and look back at everyone. No turning back now. And push the button.
And as the doors pull open to a gorgeously brass glassed elevator, you all file in, the child less enthusiastic than the rest. And what is going through, before we kind of come to a close this evening, I want to hear what's going through everybody's mind. What's that sort of final thought as the door begins to close and you guys are like faced with your reflection in the mirrors of the elevator?
I think Late, as like the first one to come in and like kind of turn around, still seeing her reflection like off the side, is purposefully not looking at her reflection because she doesn't like what she sees. But is thinking like,